All right. This is Chris Powell from the also known as Couch Coach or the Couch Coach Live podcast. And we're here as episode 7 of Couch Coach Live presents Spider Byte. And it's pretty much bite-sized content as we preview the upcoming matchup for the University of Richmond Spider football team. And we're back here after a bye week. A very well needed bye week for the Spiders team as they look to essentially start the second half of the season. So in episode 7 tonight, we'll talk about the matchup against undefeated Delaware. We'll discuss that, a little bit of a recap of the game on October the 5th versus A&T. Some news out from Coach Russ Huesman's press conference regarding who will be QB1 for the Spiders on Saturday's matchup, and just some keys to watch, some players / keys to watch in this matchup against Delaware. So what we're going to do, we'll kick that intro, and we'll be right back on Spider Byte. Yes, and we are back here after a much-needed bye week for the Spiders. We are back here. So we'll talk about the matchup before we go forward to this matchup. Well, let's talk about the matchup 2 weeks ago on October the 5th, where the Richmond Spiders won 20-7 versus the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Great game for the run game. I know we'll kind of discuss more about kind of a little bit of the game and stuff. But when you look at it from a statistical standpoint, from the rushing game, it was a great game for that individual unit, where you had Zach Palmer-Smith, who had 200 rushing yards, and then you had Andrew King, the freshman, with 100 rush yards. Probably wasn't the best game of versus A&T as far as collectively as the team. And I know when we talked to Russ Huesman 2 weeks ago, this just, it wasn't the best effort of this team, but hey, they end up getting that win. So I think you look at it, especially 2 weeks ago, pretty much being an injured group, a lot of guys are missing out that lineup to, hey, just get a win and at least to get you through the bye week. So let's fast forward where the Richmond Spiders, obviously, after that A&T win, they won the winners of 4 straight. Now they're 4-2, and now Delaware comes into town with a 6-0 record. They're undefeated. This is actually the 37th meeting between these two teams, and this possibly going to be the last one for the foreseeable future, as Delaware is going to be moving to Conference USA and the FBS. And then Delaware leads the series 22-14 overall, but the Spiders have won 3 consecutive games in this series alone. So as we talked about it earlier, the Spiders are coming off a bye week. And then also Delaware last week had a 44-21 win over Maine. And the Spiders are currently ranked in 2 polls. They're ranked number 15 in the AFCA poll, and also 18th in the Stats Perform poll. So, as I teased before the intro, some big news came out of the press conference from Coach Russ Huesman on Wednesday. There was questions about who will be the starting quarterback, either Cam Coleman or Kyle Wickersham. Coach Huesman did say that he will make a decision following Friday's practice. Not sure if he's going to tell the media or what have you, but his decision will be made on Friday. So it's going to be interesting who will be QB1. So we don't necessarily have one as we're recording this on Thursday night, but we shall see who will be the starting quarterback for the Spiders heading into Saturday's game versus Delaware. So as we talk about Delaware, you look at their very balanced team, 6-0 on the season. I can talk about it momentarily. A great win over Maine. Pretty much poured it on in the second half of the game last week and ended up winning. So key players to watch for the Delaware team. You got to look no further than the CAA Offensive Player of the Week and wide receiver Phil Lutz. He had 5 receptions last week, 133 yards, and 1 touchdown. Also, their quarterback, Zach Marker. Last week, he had essentially 3 touchdowns. So pretty much in his 3 starts this season, he's had 3 touchdowns each game, which now he has 9 on the season. So he's definitely going to be someone to really watch, especially on the Spiders as far as from the secondary standpoint, somebody who could definitely can sling the football. It could be very dangerous. I mean, you look at it just from that standpoint, just from a statistical standpoint, you can see what he has done. And also their defensive back, KTC. He has 3 interceptions on the season. And then also their linebacker, Gavin Ball, who leads the Fighting Blue Hens with 36 tackles. I think when you look at the Spiders, obviously the key player as far as keys to watch, it's definitely got to look at the running backs. Obviously, you look at Zach Palmer-Smith, who's averaging a little over 115 yards on the ground. And then you look at the freshman Andrew King. You look at it, so I talked about it earlier, about as far as the contributions in the matchup against A&T 2 weeks ago, where Zach Palmer-Smith had 200, Andrew King had 100. It's going to be definitely interesting of how their dynamic will play in this game. I also think whoever's going to be the quarterback, either Cal or Cam, is going to play a difference as well. I definitely think will be able to, whoever's going to be the quarterback, they also will be a key as well. They've had flashes, both of them in the early on of the season, so it's going to be kind of key. Be interested who will be that QB1. Obviously, when you look at some Spiders to watch defensively, you look at Carter Glassmeyer, the linebacker, 37 tackles, leads the Spiders in tackles as well, and not too far from that is also defensive end Wayne Galloway, who has 34. And then also you look at the contribution of a guy like Jeremiah Grant. We've talked about him pretty much all season in the other 6 episodes here on Spider Byte. Another one averaging 7.5 sacks. So you definitely look at that's going to, those kind of keys the guys watch on defense. And I think when you look at the keys for a Richmond victory, in my personal opinion, in this game, it's definitely going to have to be improved pass play. I definitely think the thing about the situation in this game, you still want to have that good running game, but I still think that could kind of be one of those where it can be corralled. But I think people are starting to see like, hey, this is your bread and butter. We got to stop you. So what we're gonna do, if you have an effective running game, we're gonna sack the box on you. We're gonna gonna put 8 in the box potentially, and make whoever Cam or Cal beat us with his arm. So I definitely think that's going to give an opportunity for potential Cal or Cam, whoever's there, give the ability to throw. Then I think if you have those situations, then I think guys like, Jared Garcia Jr. could have a great game. Nick DeGeneiro could have a great game. And then you could also kind of mix it up so where it can kind of get them second guessing. Pretty much the Spiders have to have a multifaceted offense essentially in this game, because you don't want to be one-dimensional, especially against a Delaware team where they're another team that's kind of opportunistic on defense as well. So it's kind of going to be a very interesting matchup on both sides of the ball. But I definitely think the key for Spiders win, especially on the offense end, is diversify. Pardon me. But I think that's kind of one of the keys, in my personal opinion. I think if whoever's going to be the quarterback there, make great plays. And also, you can run the ball as well. That's another thing, too, where both of them have had, Cal and Cam have shown the ability to make some plays outside the pocket. So I think that could be something that, kind of throw Delaware off guard in a sense, and versus essentially second guessing that stack in the box or having that personnel, essentially 8 guys in that box, potentially to stop that run game. So I definitely think that's going to be some keys. And also, I think just like they have done all season, if they, especially from a defense standpoint, I think on defense, I think essentially they have to be opportunistic when it comes to, as far as turnovers. I mean, you look at, especially when you have a Zach Maker who, he threw the ball 30 times last week. So just imagine if you had some situations where, even though 9 completions that he had last week, could those been situations where you could turn those into turnovers and what have you? Because he's another one that can get you. I mean, in his first 3 starts, he's had 3 touchdowns in each of his starts. So, it's almost like, hey, it's almost like he's due for a 3 touchdown game every week. So now this is the opportunity for Richmond to quell that and essentially force some turnovers. I mean, you look at guys we talked about all week, not all week, but all these last 6 episodes, like guys like Jabril Hayes could potentially bowl well in this one. Tank Frazier. It's a lot of guys I think that could definitely make some plays off this Delaware offense. So it's definitely going to be a great game. Definitely looking forward to heading to Robins Stadium on Saturday to watch this matchup between arguably the 2 hottest teams in FCS, potentially, in my personal opinion, especially in the CAA wise. But it's going to definitely be a great game. Looking forward to it. And this wraps up episode 7 of Spider Bites. We'll be back next week. Once again, we'll recap the game against Delaware. And then, next week they'll be on the road. They'll play Bryant. So we'll talk about Bryant next week. And yeah, so this wraps up episode 7 of Spider Bites. We'll be live on Saturday. So we'll do like a live shoot there on at Rob Stadiums on Saturdays. Definitely follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. We'll have that on our social medias. And definitely looking forward to you guys, giving you guys some coverage this weekend for this matchup. It's going to be a great one. And we'll catch you guys next week. And we're out.